And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're taking a look at Peloponnes card game. Now, if you take a look at this box, it looks really boring. And so I thought that when I first got it. But I have also learned a long time ago that never to judge these games by their covers. I've learned that lesson, so I was like, all right, we'll check it out. This is a game which you are basically going to lead a civilization through fame and glory and fortune. It's a civ building card game, kind of, sort of. It's more of an auction-based card game. I'll show you. At the beginning of the game, each player is going to get their starting city-state. So here, there's Corinth, and Thebes, and Patras, and Argos, and this is Sparta. And this, basically, we'll take a closer look at this, it shows you how many coins you start with. In this game, coins are a currency that are cards. There is a deck of cards, and these are all coins, as you can see. On the other side, they can be people, worth points at the end of the game, food used to feed people, or the two types of goods used to build things, wood and stone. Each of the civilizations also is going to provide a certain number of resources, so this provides 2 wood and stone, and then there's a number here to help determine initial turn order. Now the way each round of the game is going to be is you're going to turn over a certain number of cards in the middle of the table equal to the number of players. Some of these cards are conquest cards, and other cards are down here. Players are going to take turns bidding on these cards. But before they bid on these cards, the first 2 cards you turn over, you'll see there's a red thing at the top here. That's going to basically trigger one of these negative events, like a decline, plague, tempest, drought, or earthquake. So when that happens, you'll move it 1, and when it reaches the end, that goes off. So decline would go off, and it only happens once per game, each of these. But they're all pretty bad. Plague, for example, destroys your civilization card, except for the symbol at the top, if it has one. Tempest gets rid of one of your gets rid of half your lands, and earthquake gets rid of half your buildings, and drought gets rid of your highest producing land, and decline gets rid of your luxury card, or most of it anyway. So players are going to try to get cards and add them to their thing, and so they're going to bid on these. There's a minimum bid on each card. In the conquest row, you simply pay 3 more than the number of cards, and you get it automatically. There's no bid needed. So if you really want a card, you can get one up here. When players win these cards, they're going to turn in money cards that they have from their hand to pay for their bids. If you can outbid somebody, and then their bid has to be moved to another card. So if someone outbids you, you have to still bid that amount of money just on something different. And then you'll add these cards to your civilization. Lands are added on one side of your card. Buildings are added on the other side. Sometimes these will provide you with immediate benefits. Like, for example, if I got this land here, it would give me immediate 2 coins. Others provide population on them, which when added together with your population and your luxury card here, you at each turn will get a certain amount of money, basically depending on how many people you have. So for example, if I have 12 people, I'm going to get 4 coin cards and 1 luxury. Luxuries are here, and you're going to keep track of them. Now when you get a new building card, you actually have to build that building. This one requires 1 rock, which isn't hard. I have 1 rock, so that's easy. It's automatically done. And I also have 2 wood I didn't need to use, so that gives me some of these resources here, luxury resources, which are essentially wilds and can be worth victory points at the end of the game if the decline card doesn't cause half of them to be wiped out like that. This can actually go up to 17. Each card that you get also has a catastrophe symbol at the top. Those are used when you get catastrophe cards to trigger things, but if you have 3 of the same one, you're now immune from that catastrophe. And other cards have a catastrophe at the bottom that basically, if I buy, for example, the port, I am immune from decline. Just an automatic thing. Now the deck of cards, each round, there's 8 rounds in the game. We're going to come out, they're set up so that they come out in A, B, and C fashion. And in the B and the C deck, there are cards that show here that essentially you have to pay wheat for all your people. Feed your people. And so you'll have to feed food for each of your people. Hopefully you have places that produce food for your people. If not, you can make up the difference by getting rid of people or food cards from your hand. And again, you can also make up the difference when building buildings by getting rid of the resources from your hand. You can use these cards for both their money side or the other side. If you can't build a building when you first put it out for whatever reason, you can put a coin card from your hand on it and then build it later in the game if you so desire. And basically that's the game, how the way the game is. If you can't feed your people, when feeding time comes, you'll lose some of the cards. Like I said, the catastrophe cards will make you lose some of your cards. The game will eventually end, and you're going to add up your population points, which come from all the different people that you have on cards, and you'll add up your power points, which comes from, there's some power points listed on some of the cards, and also remaining coins and things that you have in your hand can get you power points, and you're going to compare the two totals, and the lower is your final score. Highest final score is the winner. Now the game itself looks a little drab. I mean, I know they're going for the ancient Greek look about it, but everything looks kind of the same. When you look at all the cards, they look the same. The buildings and everything, it just kind of has that samey quality to it. The symbols work, but it just, you're using discs and cards, and I don't know. The whole game just looks drab. The idea of the auctions is an interesting one, where you bid higher than someone else, forcing someone to go there. You'll put a couple of your coin cards there, put a token on it to show that that's your bid, and if someone else bid on it. But I found in most games, money's really, really tight in this game. And so if someone bids, for example, 3 on a card, I would have to bid 4 to outbid them. 3 was already a lot of money to spend on that card. 4 seems awfully extravagant, especially when I need those cards for other things. And so outbidding people in this game doesn't happen more often. Whoever bids the highest has turn order for the next round. So that does help you outbid people, but you might as well just pay the extra 3 and go for a card that you know you'll get for sure in the conquest row. Some cards are certainly better than others, especially the ones that keep you immune to the different catastrophes. And so people will fight over those, and turn order is a big deal. You might bid higher in one round just so that your turn order is better for the next round as things go by. So that bidding and auctioning seems interesting, but it's not really. And the game is only 8 rounds, which is shorter than you. Sometimes as the game says 8 rounds, I'm like, oh, it's not so bad. And then you play, you're like, 8 rounds. This one is a little faster than I would prefer it to be. However, my biggest beef, and the main reason I do not like this game, is that it's very easy for a player to fall into a spiral of just destruction. There's 5 of those catastrophes: the decline, plague, tempest, drought, earthquake. The chance of them going off is high. There is at least 2 guaranteed to go off, I guess. I guess there's maybe a minuscule chance of you drawing the same symbol the whole game, but I don't think that's possible. So 2 are going to go off, probably 4, possibly all 5. They're all very, very powerful and annoying. They destroy half your buildings or half your lands. You're not getting that many buildings. You're not getting that many lands. You're not, it's very difficult. So like I said, the cards that protect you from a catastrophe, those are huge in this game. Having a catastrophe hit you at the wrong time, and then you lose some cards, starts this downward spiral that you can't recover from. If you lose some of your stuff, then how are you going to be prepared for the next catastrophe? Now, that's probably very realistic. It's stupid for a game, though. Come on now. This is just nonsense. And it has the whole feed your people, and at the very end of the game before scoring, feed your people again. So it's very possible that you need to feed your people in the last round of the game and then immediately feed them again. This is not fun. A civilization game. People like civilization games because they allow you to build and build. And sure, there should be, you can have catastrophes and things that you have to deal with, but this game seems to be all about the catastrophes. Now, a player or two could do well. They could sidestep, a catastrophe for maybe they have the 3 at the top that avoids a catastrophe, or they got the one that cancels it, and that's the first one to pop up, and they manage to avoid that one, which lets them gear up a little bit for the next one. But honestly, if one catastrophe makes you lose half your cards, and those cards are the ones protecting you from other catastrophes, it just boom, 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 boom. Then scoring at the end was very anticlimactic too. In essence, I didn't like this game. I didn't think I liked it the first time. I was a little worried that it was maybe sour grapes because I just got trounced. I did better playing it through, but still, it was just a very depressing affair as you watch your civilization get beat up. I play games to have fun. I'm not there just to watch the elements destroy, like, look at this kingdom I built, now watch it get destroyed. Whee! That's not Wii, that's a hard pass. Dice Tower Judgment, too depressing for me.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Hey, sir, could you shut the door?